Welcome, dear students. This is the continuation of the last class, that is root modifications. The last class we have seen different types of roots: taproot system, adventitious root system, fibrous root system, normal functions of root. In addition to the normal functions, certain roots are modified to perform other functions, and such modifications are called root modifications. The roots modified as storage organ. We have seen taproot is modified as a storage organ. Adventitious roots are modified as a storage organ. Example, tuberous roots, as in the case of sweet potato or Hypomia batatas. Then fasciculated root tubers, seen in dahlia, asparagus, tapioca. Moniliform root tubers, seen in Momodica, Charentia or bitter gourd. Annulated root tubers are seen in ipecac. And one more modification, that is nodulose root. I have forgotten to show you the nodulose root. So nodulose roots you can see in Curcuma amada. Common name is mango ginger. And this mango ginger, the root becomes suddenly swollen near the apex. And this type of root modifications are called nodulose roots. These are the adventitious root modifications. So roots modified as storage organ. Then today let's see the roots modified for mechanical support. Roots modified for mechanical support. In huge trees like banyan tree, from the aerial branches, the adventitious roots develops and it grows vertically downwards into the soil. And it grows into the soil and it grows as strong as the main trunk. And it gives mechanical support like pillars. Hence these roots are otherwise called pillar roots. Example, Ficus bengalensis. You can see huge prop roots. And these prop roots are otherwise called pillar roots. It gives mechanical support like pillars. Hence these roots are called prop roots. Example, Ficus. Then stilt root. The plants growing near the banks of rivers, paddy fields, lakes, etc. Some of the plants like pandanus, zea mays, sugarcane, from the basal nodes, the adventitious roots develops and it grows obliquely downwards into the soil and it gives mechanical support to the stem. So the roots are modified for mechanical support. See, this is pandanus. And this is zea mays. And this is a sugarcane. From the basal nodes, the adventitious roots develops. And this type of roots are called stilt roots. Then climbing roots. The roots modified for climbing support in some weak-stemmed plants like piper, pothoscandens, syndapsus, otherwise called money plant, ficus pumila, etc. From the nodes, there arises adventitious roots, and these adventitious roots stick on the supporting object, a tree or a wall. This is sticky substances they are secreted, and because of the presence of these adventitious roots and sticky substance, it's climb on the supporting object. Such roots are called climbing roots. Then epiphytic plants like clinging roots. So the roots modified for storage purpose, roots modified for mechanical support, roots modified for climbing support, roots modified for clinging. See, in the case of epiphytic plants, what is epiphytes? Epiphytes are those plants which depend on other plants only for shelter, not for food, only for shelter. And especially Orchidaceae members. There are two types of roots they produced. One is epiphytic root and another one is clinging roots. So it support on the supporting tree or branches, and such roots are called clinging roots. Then buttress root, and this is one of the characteristic feature of rainforest. Buttress roots, also known as plank roots, or large wide roots on all sides of a shallowly rooted tree, so that it gives mechanical support. See, just wings like roots they developed, and these are called buttress roots. It is one of the characteristic feature of tropical rainforest. Then roots modified for physiological function. The case of Dr.Anil'S, otherwise called water chestnut, there the feathery roots have chloroplast. So because of the presence of this chloroplast, they do carbon assimilation or photosynthesis, like Tinospora cordifolia. Tinospora cordifolia, their aerial roots, adventitious roots, have chloroplast. Because of the presence of this chloroplast, they do carbon assimilation or photosynthesis. Tinospora cordifolia, heart-shaped leaves. Tinospora cordifolia, in Malayalam Amrit. They are the adventitious roots, aerial roots. They do carbon assimilation or photosynthesis. So another one, breathing roots. Breathing roots, otherwise called nematophores. In mangrove plants, what are mangroves? The plants found in the brackish water, or the plants growing in brackish water, and those plants, they are living in waterlogged areas. They do not get oxygen. In such conditions, certain roots comes above the soil surface. They are positively phototropic, and such roots are called nematophores. And on the surface of nematophores, you can see numerous minute pores called nematothodes, through which air enter inside and respiration is effected. And such roots are called nematophores. See, the roots modified for physiological functions. Dr.Anil'S, otherwise called water chestnut, Tinospora cordifolia. Their roots have chloroplast. Because of the presence of chloroplast, they do carbon assimilation or photosynthesis. Here, in mangrove plants, especially Avicennia, Rhizophora, in these two plants, you can see nematophodes, that is called breathing roots. Okay. Coming to roots modified for special functions, like epiphytic plants. We have already discussed epiphytic plants have two types of roots, clinging roots and velamen roots or epiphytic roots. And this, because of the presence of this velamen root, majority Orchidaceae members have this velamen root. Velamen tissue is there. A sponge-like tissue is present, and this sponge-like tissue is called velamen tissue. Because of the presence of this velamen tissue, they can absorb moisture from the atmosphere. Since these plants do not make direct contact with the soil, so they can absorb moisture from the atmosphere. And such roots are called velamen roots, otherwise called epiphytic roots. In epiphytic plants like Vanda, Ringostylis, Acambe, so many Orchidaceae members have this type of velamen root, special functions, right? And another special functions like sucking roots. the case of parasitic plants. What are parasites? Parasites are those plants, they depend on other plant for food and shelter. They absorb nutrients from the host plant. It is usually harmful to the host plant. Example, loranthus, otherwise called mistletoe. Loranthus, they depend on other plant for food and shelter. That is partial stem parasite. Parasites are of different types. Stem parasite is there, a root parasite is there, partial parasite is there, total parasite is there. Here we can see total stem parasite and partial stem parasite. This is partial stem parasite loranthus, and these plants produces certain roots called hostorial roots, otherwise called sucking roots. It penetrate into the host plant and it absorb nutrients from the host plant. Even though they have leaves and they do carbon assimilation, that is why it is called partial stem parasite. So common name is mistletoe. But in the case of total stem parasite like cuscuta, otherwise called dodder plant. Dodder plant, it is a total stem parasite. It completely depends on the host plant. It absorbs nutrients, water and minerals, everything from the host plant. That is total stem parasite, cuscuta, otherwise called dodder plant. And these plants produces sucking roots, otherwise called hostorial roots, and it penetrates into the host plant and it absorbs food from them. And such roots are called sucking roots, otherwise called hostorial roots. Would you follow me? Okay, then another roots you can see in the case of floating hydrophytes like Jessiae, there you can see sponge-like roots. See, from the nodes, aerial roots develops sponge-like adventitious roots, and they give buoyancy because of the presence of the spongy roots. They can float on the surface of water. So special function. See, then reproductive roots, especially in the case of Ipomia, sweet potato. Sweet potato tubers produces adventitious buds. They grow into an individual plant. So the roots reproductive purpose, they modified. Dahlia, there also you can see adventitious buds they produced from the root buds, and it grows into an individual one. So special functions. Okay. Then some roots, especially in leguminous plants. Leguminous plants, from their roots, can see the nodules, and these nodules are inhabited with certain nitrogen fixing bacteria like Radicicola, Rhizobium, Pseudomonas, so that because of the symbiotic association of this bacteria, they can fix atmospheric nitrogen. So root nodules are produced only in leguminous plants. So that is very interesting thing, the special function. Similarly, the fungal mycelium, the symbiotic association of fungal mycelium with the roots of higher plants, especially Pinus, Casuarina, there you can see the mycorrhizal association. What is mycorrhiza? It is the symbiotic association of fungal mycelium with the roots of higher plants, not in lower plants, in higher plants. Such association is called mycorrhizal association, special functions. So because of the presence of this mycorrhizal association, then only those plants can grow. Especially Pinus and Casuarina, you can see this mycorrhizal association. These are all special functions. With this, we can complete the root modifications. What are the root modifications? Roots modified as storage organ. Taproot is modified as storage organ. Adventitious roots modified as storage organ. See, roots modified for mechanical support. Prop root is there. Stilt root is there. Buttress root is there. Roots modified for physiological functions, as in the case of trapanites and Tinospora cordifolia. The adventitious roots have chloroplast, they do the carbon assimilation or photosynthesis. See, roots modified for various purposes. So such modifications are called root modifications. Special functions epiphytic velamen root or epiphytic roots, sucking roots. Parasitic plants have sucking or hostorial roots. Then root nodules are seen in leguminous plants. Then fungal mycelium, symbiotic association of fungal mycelium with the roots of higher plants. So these are all the modifications of root system. With this we completed the root system. The next class we can see the shoot system. Okay, thank you very much.